welcome back to the Behind the Wall podcast. I am Paul Higginson, and we are very lucky today for the first time in our short career. We've got a duo. Welcome Aaron and Rob from Trec Plumbing, the owners of Trec Plumbing. Thanks for making yourselves available.
Thank you for having us.
G'day, Paul. Thank you.
We can obviously see who does the work. You've got the nice clean pants. And
That's what he said to me.
That's
today.
what I said.
In the morning.
He's like, go put clean pants on. I'm like, I wanted to think I would.
I said, you have to come dressing in chinos. I said, you can't come like this and present like that. He's like, well, we have to have a delineation between the two. Fair enough. Robbie.
It's always the case. I always say whenever there's important meetings, you always get Connor shares, because it's always where everybody goes straight to the Connor shops to go and get their clothes, and it's always the same with us. Like, we're always out there seeing everybody repping, in the nice, as well as, hey, I work for a living. So very welcome to have you both to the podcast. It's going to be an interesting chat. A lot in the world's changing in the way of plumbing, but not just that, in the way of construction, and love to get your take. And obviously everybody has been enjoying the content so far, so it's also great to get your point of view on what's to come.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
I'd just like to clarify, but usually it's the opposite way around. Rob's the real suave and sophisticated one. He comes out in his nice suit, his little pinstripe, everything like that. I'm the one that's all dirty and gritty and everything like that, so I thought we'd flip it today and see how it goes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So one at a time, but introduce us. So Rob, like plumbing wise, as well as where you've come from and basically your career up to date, where did your plumbing story start?
Yeah, I started plumbing out of high school at 18. It was a funny story. Actually never intended to do plumbing. Got into university doing a building and something degree. I can't even remember now. But yeah, after high school, travelled overseas for a little while, kind of caught that bug and just, needed money to get the next adventure underway. Mm-hmm. Started helping out just a friend of mine who was a small plumber at the time. Just labouring here a couple of days a week, a little bit of cash in hand. And then, just decided may as well get an apprenticeship underway. That way I've got something. Did 4 years there and then decided to go off overseas. Kind of didn't think much of it. Wasn't sure if I was going to even return to plumbing when I got back. Yeah. Did 2-3 years living overseas. And then, came back broke. So I was like, I know how to plumb. So got back into it. And then, just after a little while, I've always had a passion. Like, I just enjoyed as weird as it sounds, I enjoyed the regulation. I enjoyed the structure. I enjoyed the satisfaction you get from doing the work. And after a little while, started my own business. I think I was 25. So, Okay. 2015, I think I started.
So you've come back from overseas?
Yeah, I came back from overseas.
And started your own business?
No, I came back from overseas, started driving concrete trucks. Because I didn't think I wanted to keep going down the road of plumbing. Yeah. I had a boss that drove us really long, hard hours, and I wasn't sure if it was for me. I wasn't sure if I could cut it. And even if I say to the young boys now, I've got a young cousin, he's doing a carpentry apprenticeship, and he's like, you just can't see the end of it. And I said, I felt the same way when I was an apprentice. I couldn't see the end of the road. Like, that 4 years of an apprenticeship felt like the longest time of my life. Like, it was very hard. The long hours, the Saturdays, the 6 a.m. starts, the 6 p.m. finishes, it was tough. And so I went overseas and I kind of had this break, and I had this time to find myself, discover who I was. And when I came back, I was like, that's it. I don't think I want to do plumbing. I don't think it's for me anymore. I was driving concrete trucks for a little bit. Then I just ran into an old high school friend while I was delivering concrete one day. And he was working for an EBA plumber. And he's like, we're looking for guys. Why don't you come get a job with us? So he landed me a job, got me back into plumbing, and then, kind of revived my passion for plumbing. Mm-hmm. And then, just started my own business a few short years after, because, the EBA space, it's, they love you when they're busy and they don't love you when they're not busy. So I didn't like the inconsistency. So, decided to take control and take it into my own hands, which was good. And then, started my own business. I did 2 or 3 years by myself. And then that's when Aaron and I kind of started our next venture together. Yeah.
And what sort of plumbing was that back then?
It was all new homes, townhouses, and a little bit of maintenance.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Big change too.
It was a big change, It was all adding Craigieburn, Waller, just all, your stock standard single-story homes, little townhouses, little bathroom renos. Copy paste, yeah. Yeah. It was good. There's a lot, big learning. I think it's hard. They never really prepare you from working for someone to working for yourself. There's so much you don't know, and I think you have to learn I think even for most plumbers out there, you have to learn on the fly. You have to learn on the job. You have to make the mistakes. They cost you a lot of money, and you just have to move forward and learn. It's the only way you can do it. No one's perfect. No one, there's probably a million jobs that I mucked up or, didn't do quite right, weren't quite compliant. But, it's trial and error. You just got to push through. And I always endeavored to be by the book. I always try my hardest to be as compliant as possible, as best as possible. It's very hard as a business. You can't control what everyone does, and you can't see what everyone does. But you push through and you endeavour. And I think it's the learning and the challenges are what have kept me in plumbing from wanting to leave all those years ago. They've kept me in plumbing and kept that interest around for a long while.
Real sliding doors moment there as well. Catching up with an old high school friend.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen.
Oh, 100%. I was happy driving concrete trucks.
Yeah.
It was summer. I was driving up and down the beach, sunglasses on, window down, tooting at chicks. I loved it.
It's a hard life.
It was a hard life, yeah. To be honest, if it wasn't back into a union job where the pay and the conditions were good, I don't know if I would have done it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So life has a way of working out, and
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No
Aaron?
regrets.
Yeah, look, mine's a little bit different to that. The road that I came by was, I think at school when we had work experience at the time, I decided to go with my uncle, who was a site manager at Lend-Lease. Now this is a little bit a while ago, so I don't know if many people remember this, but they were doing a bit of renovations at Diamaroo, turning into Melbourne Central Station. So I'm showing my age here, even though I might not look it, I'm showing it. Right? So I went in there for a little bit of work experience for a few weeks, and it was of labouring and form work. And I came back and I said, oh my God, this is no way. I was 16 years old. I'm not waking up at the crack of dawn at 5 a.m. I'm not getting out there and doing form work and labouring. This is just shocking. So I came back, but as I was there, I said, you know what? This looks interesting. And I saw the plumbers. They're in there in the old, on the train lines, doing some storm water. They're digging out. They're putting pieces and pipes together. I'm thinking, this looks really cool. So I came back from that experience thinking, you know what? I don't want to do formwork concrete or labouring, but what I do want to do is plumbing. Mm-hmm. So from there on in, I went with a friend who had a little domestic company. It was Peterstone Plumbing, they called it. A bit of work experience, things like that. I was about 16 at the time, still through school. And then eventually, I'd finished school at 17 years old, year 12. I was a bit early, to school. So, some people finish at 18. I started school early, so I finished at 17. Went on to work with AMF Plumbing in more so domestic, housing, luxury homes, everything from industrial and all the way through. Halfway through to the end of my third year, I decided to do what every kid does and try and chase the money. Because in domestics, you're working 7 till 7, or getting up at 6, getting there at 7, getting home at 7. You're not really getting paid overtime. But the lessons I learnt from my first boss, priceless. Mm. He's a great bloke. I still get along with him till today. He was a hard taskmaster. He's the old, in Italian, it says the old Veneti, it's the tradition. They're like a hard, they just drive you day in, day out. But, I took that work ethic on into the future. So I went to an EBA company, and we were in the depths of the GFC at that time. Yeah. I think 09, 010, 08, 09, 010. And I started learning the lessons of what commercials like and EBA companies are like. People are getting fired left, right and centre. I saw grown men cry. And then eventually our company went into liquidation. Didn't get paid my Incolink. I still took that up with them. I actually took that up with them, and they can't do anything about it, so I think I took it up too late.
Left it too late.
Went back to domestics, and then from then on in, I came back to domestics, and I was actually getting paid less as a qualified plumber in domestics than what I was as a third and fourth year in commercial. Wow. And I said, you know what, I'm grinding my guts out again, which is good experience, it's fine. We're doing domestic housing, estate housing, left, right and centre in Craigieburn and Sunbury and all over the places around here. And I said, you know what, it's time to just make the jump and start my own business, because I feel that I'm in a position, I was still living at home at the time, I was young, 21, I can actually do that. I don't have a family, it's a lot easier. Mm-hmm. So then I went in and started my own business. And I started subbing to start with, and then eventually when I kept getting more work, we broke away and ventured out.
So when did you guys then come to, it's interesting, you started by saying it's different, but you've followed the same sort of paths. You've both gone into the EBA space. You've both then gone on to your own in domestic housing, both working in Craigieburn and the like. So when did the partnership then come together?
I can't even remember the year.
Yeah, It would have been, I think we first registered our partnership together in 2015, I think it was, or 14 or 15. But I think it came together, I'll give you a bit of a backstory between myself and Rob. So myself and Rob, we actually, it's a funny story. We went to primary school together. We went to high school together. We played in the same footy teams as well. And like although we were friends, we sort of knew each other.
Years apart. We were separate year levels at primary school and high school.
Same age, exactly the same age, separate year levels. Does it get on? I reiterate, I started early. Rob was in the year level below.
Yeah.
We sort of knew each other, families knew each other, everything like that. And then
never really hung out though. I honestly didn't have it. Like at 18, when I'm doing my apprenticeship, I didn't have his phone number. I wouldn't have seen him since high school.
Yeah.
So he reached out. I think he reached out. So the friend that I saw when I was driving that concrete truck, I think you reached out to him first to see, because he'd just won a job in Paran. It was 8 stories, and I think he thought he didn't have the guys to do it. And he just
also was a bit new to the space, I'd say as well.
Doing something like that.
I didn't have the confidence to go out on my own. I thought, you know what, who better? I've known this guy for a long time as well.
Yeah.
We saw each other at gym as well, here and there, and thought, Rob can give me a hand. Rob said yes.
Yeah, so I had a few boys working for me at the time, and Aaron had a few boys, so it just made sense to, join the teams, and we just had a crack at that first job together.
Yeah.
I was still running my business separately. Aaron was kind of running his business separately, and we started a third business just to,
Definitely.
for this job, and then kind of got easier. Just, it was easier to have someone giving you a hand, instead of having to do the quotes every Sunday night and do the pays every Sunday night on your own, someone else that you could lean on to have a hand that would be on site while you were doing something else.
Definitely. And also someone to lean on as well when you're a bit ambivalent about what you're doing and uncertain. You're saying, you know what, do I need to do this? Can I do this? What's the regulation behind this? How am I going about it? You got someone to lean on to say, you know what, maybe we go down this path. It's not you solely making.
Back you in.
Yeah.
Exactly right, 100%.
Yeah.
And Aaron and I have always been, we excel at different areas, and I think that's why we've always been good. Our personalities have always gone together well, but we just excel in very different areas, and I think that's why we've worked so well together. I'm very by the book. Like I love the regulations. My life dream is to honestly, my life's dream is to rewrite the regulations. If I could get my hands in at the VBA and but
BPC.
we won't get the BPC. I'd love to get in there. I've got so many notes and things to make the plumbing industry better, but it's all politics down there. I don't think that the regulations kind of they're owned by an international conglomerate, and they don't always apply perfectly to real life situations. But I've always loved that, and Aaron's always been a bit more of the workhorse. So he's very good at driving the outcomes, and I'm very good at the regulations and thinking. It frustrates him.
Strategy. I'd say more strategy as well.
Aaron gets frustrated because he's like, I just want to make money. Stop tying my hands up.
But you need that, Rob. And we've touched on this a couple of times over the last few podcasts, is that it's a real skill to be able to identify that you've got a skill set, you've got a skill set, and together, you're actually able to complement each other.
Correct,
now, if both of you guys were by the book, nothing will get done.
Nothing gets done.
If you actually read the plumbing Bible, you actually can't do any work.
Oh, it's hard.
It's extremely difficult.
So there has to be some leniency. So, but at the same time, like this is about getting the job done too.
Yeah.
So to have both of you guys sort of working together, that's what good companies out there are doing. Is that they're identifying the skill sets of people, and it could even be the people within your company underneath you guys. I'm assuming that you've got your leading guys or girls on site all have different skill sets.
Definitely.
Because you've got to lean on them too, right?
You do, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I always come out with the mantra. It's like Aristotle's famous quote on his deathbed. The only thing I know is that I know nothing at all. So I don't, pretend to be the smartest person in the room. So I'm always here looking and, getting information from people and taking people's advice.
Yeah. And not to downplay plumbers, but plumbers got out of school early.
Definitely.
Now, obviously, there's smart plumbers and the like, but you became a plumber because you love working with your hands, and you touched on it before. Like, you saw something and you actually went, I want to get involved in that. Yeah. If you were the smart, you'd be engineers and you'd be in different fields. You guys are plumbers because you loved working with your hands to start with.
And just to touch on something that Rob said about, everyone makes mistakes and they're a learning experience.
Yeah.
It's like some people go to university, and they spend $100,000 on HECS. We go to the School of Hard Knocks. And that's what, it's true. And that's where you get it through life experiences. Like, you might make a $100,000 mistake.
You're big time.
That is your university. That is your schooling. That's your learning. And young kids as well that are out there have to actually know that this is real life, and you're playing with real money. And these are the mistakes you make. But it's all a learning experience. It's never a mistake if you don't learn from it. Just remember that.
Can I ask you then, what is the biggest mistake that you guys have made? And you don't have to talk like dollars and cents, but
no,
but for everybody listening out there that have gone through this process and gone, and they're a bit timid to try something new or anything. Every big company has made a mistake along the way.
Every small company, big company, you make the same mistakes. You trust the wrong people. They tell you they're going to, and then you don't get paid. You do the work or you leave the material on site. They screw you over. It's happened to us here. I couldn't even tell you how much you get screwed up. Like every tradie's got the same. I reckon has the same story on repeat. You've done work for someone. You've done. You put your heart and soul into it. You've worked hard, and then they don't want to pay, and then there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. You just got to, you get upset or you got to move on.
There does need to be a bit of reform in that aspect, I think. To protect tradesmen,
especially like for us. Yeah. I remember starting out, especially. I think
shocking.
Unfortunately, young plumbers and young tradies, as soon as you're starting your own business, you're keen to get work. You're probably underpricing because, like we probably were at the time, you're either trying to win the work or you don't understand the pricing system. And there's builders out there that they're just taking advantage of you. They get you to do the work, even though you're already you're barely doing it to make ends meet, and then they don't pay you on top of that. And it's hard to move on from. It's hard to
grapple with. Yeah. To be honest. Yeah.
Because it's just the sense of it's not fair.
And you're so physically invested into that and what you're doing, because like when you're a young tradie as well, especially, maybe not the roles we're in now, but more so back then as well, you're actually physically working. You're putting your time, blood, sweat, effort and tears into that job. So when you don't get paid in return for it, or they're cutting your payments and that, it actually is, it actually hits you to the core, to the solar plex.
Yeah. And even like that first job that you guys did collectively, like, there probably was things on that plan that you missed, or you're not designed to read plans. So
all the time,
and
happens till today. Still happens today.
And when you are so far below the next plumber or electrician or whatever trade you're in, and your pricing so far below the next closest, surely there's got to be questions raised. But I think we've just become accustomed in the industry, just going, we'll give it to the cheapest one.
You run the gamble,
and then they're running the gamble, and then that company's like, oh shit. I feel in the non-EBA space, it's a lot more cutthroat like that. You do that more so in the EBA space. Don't get me wrong, we always still make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. We overlook plans. We make, there's all that still happens all the time. But in the EBA space, there's that like benchmark. So if you really do make those mistakes heavily, you're going under. There's no ifs or buts about it. Whereas domestics, you got every person, you got a lot of people who just underquote and undercut. And
if it's just one,
you can survive. You can starve it out and survive through that. Yeah. Whereas in this space here, it's very you cannot make those mistakes.
In housing, you're charging 10 to 15,000 for a house. So even if you underquote yourself by 10 or 15%, the loss isn't it's $1,500 or $2,000. It's not that bad. Or you might lose $3,000, but for a house, it's basically 3 to 5 days work on a single story house from start to finish, versus 12 to 18 months of full-time work. So it's hard to move. That's what's very hard in the EBA space when you're on buildings that go for such a long period of time. When you're going through the shit, that shit stays for a long time. It's very hard to get over. Whereas in domestic, it was good because today's job is shit. I'm going to get through this. I'll stay till 6 o'clock tonight. I'll be somewhere good tomorrow. And then,
and it rolls on.
It rolls on.
Yeah. And in the EBA space, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of chasing tail then. If you underquote and lose money, then you just buy on the next job and the next job, and it just becomes a snowball.
It becomes a snowball,
yeah. So it's very hard to sort of, for those new companies to then penetrate that space, because you do have to have the relationships to be able to talk to the builders or the developers and then be able to progress your way through, right?
Well, even the rise of Trec Plumbing, which is the company that we own now, that came out of the depths of like COVID. as well. So we basically capitalised on Richstone Plumbing and a few other companies going under
bankrupt,
at that
yeah.
time. So, and that's where we really had our inception and our breakthrough into the market.
Yeah.
So the big players, obviously underquoting, getting a bit more bloated, becoming a Leviathan, and you just can't, sustain it. It's unsustainable for them. They've gone under, and we've flown in. Much like Melbourne Elite Plumbing, same deal, exactly the same way.
Yeah.
For their inception as well. So we've both capitalised off that sort of, that way.
Yeah. So talk me through that first job. So you work collaboratively. You were still doing your own thing. When did it actually just harmonise and just become Trec Plumbing?
Well,
or was it Trec Plumbing at the
no,
start?
we harmonised well before that with another company called Liquid Silver Plumbing.
Yep.
And then when it turned to EBA space, that's when we sort of amalgamated into that Trec Plumbing,
Okay.
that role.
Yeah. So Liquid Silver.
Yes.
Talk me through that. What was that?
So that was Aaron and I's first company together. We started with that first job in Paran, but mostly doing a lot of very high-end homes and smaller apartment builds, your 80s, your 100s, that kind of stuff, just with smaller non-EBA builders. And we were pretty comfortable doing that for,
So team size?
Our team size was only...
I think we got to
10.
about 10 and I think 14 at maximum. It was pretty manageable, sustainable.
Yeah. Aaron and I were very hands-on there. That was... Yeah, it was a good time. Like, for us, it was we were just in a comfortable space. We had a good run of work. We never had to advertise. We, never did overtime, never did Saturdays. We just... and the boys were happy with that as well.
Yeah, the boys were all right,
We were just... Everyone was just happy. We were starting at 7:30, finishing at 4.
Finishing at 4.
It was very... It was pretty... It was a pretty crazy
lifestyle.
lifestyle.
Still do your after hours work.
Still do your after hours, but
paperwork on the weekends.
but for the on-site times,
it's a bit different. Yeah,
because there's a lot more. I feel like we're just at that point where we were just very good at what we were doing with those smaller apartments. We didn't need. It was never stressful. We kind of just.
Yeah.
We had almost clocked them to they were just easy. Like 4 or 5 levels and 80 apartments is just. Especially, because those builders are a little bit slower. They're not like EBA space. They don't move on that.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it was, we just found it relatively easy.
Yeah.
Not to say that, we knew everything. This, always something to learn. But so moving into the EBA space was a little bit different for us because then, we just...
It's a reality check.
Reality check.
It is a reality check, You're doing
we had to ramp up our hours, ramp up our efforts.
Yeah, so what is the major difference is setting it up, not now, but going from that space to the EBA space?
So we kind of went in there almost overnight after Richstone Plumbing went bankrupt. So to help out Crema, they were on 4 of the Crema construction jobs. They went bankrupt midway through. So 1 was almost at completion, 1 had just started, and 2 were...
2 were just starting. Yeah, probably 3 were at the start point.
At the start point, yeah.
Yeah, and 1 was nearly at the end.
So we just, took on the boys that were already on their site and then, had the project manager. So it was a bit of a shock to grasp, just jump in the deep end of 3 jobs that are already on the go that, you hadn't looked at before. You hadn't priced yourself. You weren't sure what was going on and just hit the ground running to work out what was going on.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shit show at the start. Look, honestly, the magnitude of the work was much bigger than what we were, obviously intending and what we actually thought. So it was hard to grapple with a lot. Rob did the layman's work on that. I was trying to tail off our other business at the same time. So I'd come in and help as well. Rob was full-time doing that at that stage. But you really get thrown into the deep end and it's either sink or swim. And thank goodness we swum.
The credit really goes to the boys.
Yeah.
The Richstone boys that were left behind, the foremen and the workers on site, you got to give credit to them. They obviously, did the work. They brought them over the line.
Definitely. And a lot of them stuck with us now as well.
A lot of them are stuck with us.
We've got a good core basis. We've got a good core team. It's a great foundation for the company, and they're pretty loyal. Like all of them are, a credit to them, are extremely loyal. Yeah. They've all had offers to go elsewhere. They could have gone. They could have jumped ship. We sold them the dream of Trek. They
believed in us. Yeah,
they believed in us, and
it goes a long way, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
When your team believes your vision,
100%,
right? And I'm assuming that was a hard vision to sell, right?
Extremely.
Yeah, coming off
it's unknown.
Smaller,
They all figured we're going to finish these jobs you're doing for Crema, then they're all just going to get the ass. Yeah.
But also to trust it, who are these two guys?
Yeah.
Like
Correct,
how
yeah.
do they know what they're doing?
And how do they know that we're not going to go bankrupt and we're going to get paid and our suit and everything that they went through with Richstone is going to, repeat itself? How do they know that? So we do give them good credit for that and thank them a lot.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do we have to pull them in for meetings because they're all...
Yeah, they get worried, they get scared, yeah.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. They all got families, they got kids, they got to, they got to look after themselves.
Yeah. They've all got either mortgages or long-term.
Correct,
yeah.
And there's a lot of commitments outside of work, and I think we got better in that space of, being able to provide an outside of work lifestyle for people that people want to be a part of. So you can't, when you're selling them a vision, a lot of it's got to do with, am I able to still do the things that I enjoy, on the weekends or whatever it is, because otherwise there is still, and at that time there was still a lot of work coming through the pipeline. So as you said, there was offers elsewhere. So obviously that was a good selling point to stick with you. So moving into that space, how did you guys pivot your business in terms of, was there more office team? Did you need a warehouse? Anyone that's looking to get into that space, is there any mistakes that you may have made that you would do differently today?
I think, finding the right team is important. I think having a good hydraulic designer is helpful. Having the right and having a good person running the sites is also very helpful, because they take care of all, you got all the boys doing your work, but you need someone coordinated. That person on site is very important.
You can't be at every job site.
You can't be at every job site. I've tried. It's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Trust me, I tried. You can't be at every job site. And the hardest part for me, to be honest, was relinquishing control. Where I was before with Aaron and I's previous business, we were very hands-on. Like I said, I was very by the book. I would make, even Aaron would get the shits because I would make him cut things out and redo them because they weren't, they weren't spot on. I weren't perfect. He used to wait till I went home before he'd do some certain things. He's like, just don't look.
Get off site.
You don't want to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
But I think the hardest part for me is relinquishing that control, because I'm a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo. Like, everything's just got to be particular. And even though I know the way it's done is correct, it's just not how I would have done it. So it took a lot for me to let go of that, and I think that was always a bit of a hard part.
Whereas when I run the boys now, for instance, I can foresee a mistake happening before it happens. I honestly can, but I still try and give them that time of day to say, okay, well, what do you think? How would you go about it? They'll do it, and I'll let them make that mistake. It's like they come to Jesus moment. They're like, I did make that mistake. Like, so you've sort of got to let them go through that, or else they get a bit sappy, and it does kill productivity, because if they're not happy with you and the way you're running things as well, it's antithetical to what you're trying to achieve, because they push back.
Yeah, so taking a step back is hard.
Take a step back.
And even now, Aaron and I are still very much on site, so that relinquishing their control still, I have the argument with myself in my own head, but I try. The boys will probably say I do, but I try not to say as much as I can.
Do you think you've got better, and vice versa, right? So have you got better at being able to do that because you've got Aaron by your side, and have you got better, Aaron, because you've got Rob by your side to keep him?
Definitely.
Yeah.
For me, definitely. Like, I'll probably, Rob keeps me in check. I'd put it that way.
Yeah. So the growth of Trek is because you both come from, we were talking about before, those skill sets, right? So would Trek be, hypothetically, be at the position they're at if it wasn't for you two being so different but aligning?
Yeah, I think I'd struggle with the business if I was just on my own, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, same. Yeah.
I think it's without having Aaron, I think I would.
And same.
It's not to say that's impossible that you couldn't do it. Of course, know. But I think
it looks a lot different, though. Right?
Yeah, it looks a lot different. It makes it a lot harder. I think the impact it has on my personal life, is also a lot more taxing, and probably the same for Aaron.
Definitely, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, we can handball certain tasks off to each other. Like, it's,
And you play to each other's strengths.
Yeah, you play to each other's strengths.
Rob, like we said before, Rob's better at strategy and behind the scenes business, analysis and all that sort of stuff. I'm more better at running boys and hands on. So Rob takes the layman's work that way, and I take the work the other way. So that's where you play off.
Yeah.
And for instance, too, it's also good having a business partner because if you want to go on shows like The Bachelorette or other things like that, you can take on time to actually do that.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but now, since you've done it, how was your time
On The Bachelorette? Well, it was a while ago now. What? 2018, I think. Yeah. So a long time ago, a season with Ali. It was a good time. To be honest, I don't even know. I don't even remember it. It feels like another lifetime ago.
You'll be happy to know I didn't watch any of your episodes.
No, that's okay. There wasn't much
I'll
to
ask
see.
my wife about it.
No, it was a good experience. I met a lot of good boys and had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was hard because you're shut off from the outside world. So before going in there, I was very heavy I did all the accounting stuff and all the payroll and everything. Aaron didn't even know how to pay the super. And so I said, I'm going on this show for 3 months. I'm not allowed to take my computer. Are you going to be all right? He's like, yeah, I'll figure it out. I said, they let me get my email. Like, I can go on the computer for emails once every 2 weeks. I'm negotiating the contract. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, every 2 weeks I'd get just 1,000 emails from, hey, do this, hey, do that. I was like, and I was just, I got an hour just to respond. I was just pumping them out to him. He's like, oh, it's too late. I figured it out. Anyway, yeah, it was a good time though. I didn't find love on the show, unfortunately.
But being on the show and being away from the business that, we've touched on quite a few times, that you are so down the line and want to be a part of everything.
What I don't know and don't see out. I don't ask questions.
So apart from not paying super, we're good.
No,
They
got paid.
Everyone's super
We have to catch up.
ATO, everyone's super got paid. That's not, there's nothing about that, please. It had all entitlements. Let's just add that as well.
Was there time, and not because you're on the show, but was there times you just standing there going, they better have completed that floor, or they must. Hopefully they're up to that. Or did you just be?
I'm very good at segmenting work and home. Once I go home, I don't even think about work.
Yeah, and that's important, right? Even for young businesses out there.
Oh, you can't.
To be able to switch off is huge, right?
It's huge. It's very hard.
Like sometimes, honestly, you do get a lot of things you have to do at home. But you just got to get them done and then off, turn the tap off.
Yeah, but once you finish, you need to be able to finish. You need to have a life. Work is one thing, but at the end of the day, we're on this earth to live, not to not to work. I think having work ethic, working hard, and making something of yourself, and doing something that you're proud of is important because that helps build a good life. But you have to have a life outside of it as well.
Yeah, I think.
I think it's very hard to not be engrossed. You see, it depends what you want out of life. Some people making millions and, work. That is their life and they're happy with that. And if that's it, so be it. But for me, it's more than that. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy connections with people, and that's more important. So I think when I come home, I'm very good at, once the laptop's down, the bag's down, I'm happy just doing my own thing. I don't think about it. I'm not stressing about the pipe that didn't get glued in because it's just arbitrary. I say all the time, at the end of the day, if I had a car accident on the way home and died, someone's going to glue that pipe in tomorrow if it's me or it's not me. It doesn't make a difference.
But there is times at night that you wake up and you just think,
I stress if the toilet got pushed in all the way.
You do wake up, or when it's raining heavy, you're just like, is that overflowing or not?
But also,
when it
cold sweats going off.
When it rains heavy, I actually do wake up stressing.
I think every plumber goes through that same thing. He knows their own business.
And you've got to remember also the highest pressures are on the weekend too when you're not there.
Yeah,
so
100%. Yeah.
So if that water, I've never come across a water pipe burst while someone's there.
Yeah.
Every single time a water pipe has burst, no one's there.
Or an hour after you've left.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. And the heaviest downpours are always on a weekend, and it only floods in the most important section of the building. Right? Why can't it just flood over the pit in the or in the
definitely.
Right. So so being able to switch off is critical, and
definitely.
And so from a mental health aspect, you guys obviously are pushing that back to your team to be able to switch off.
Yeah, we definitely do. It's hard. With the EBA space, it is hard because it's a 6-day week, 10-hour day, space. We do incentivize and we do tell our boys, you know what, take your holidays, please, because we don't want worker burnout. So that's a sort of culture we've tried to build within our crew,
Yeah.
and even within ourselves too. Like we try and take the the long Easter break and the holidays at the end of the year. And don't get me wrong, we work very hard, extremely hard, Rob and I. But we still try and get little places for ourselves, just to go our little space.
Yeah.
For me, it's gym as well. We're pretty heavy on the exercise. Rob's pretty healthy, heavy on the exercise as well. You get in there, it sets off the endorphins, the serotonin levels. You think about nothing or anything. You don't think about anything.
Yeah.
And it's just a place to just decompress.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. It's very incentivized. I think social media is hard. It's incentivized, like burn yourself, work until you burn yourself out so you can have a Rolex and a nice car. But, even once you attain those things, they still don't make you happy. So for me, finding happiness in life is important.
Yeah. And, even coming from myself, I've got 5 kids of my own, and
Good on you.
to see, my son, do well in football, that gives me more pleasure than all the money in the world. Or my daughter's a golfer and she just loves it. So to see her, hit a drive down the middle of the fairway and just turn to me with the biggest grin, like I hit it further than you. It's like, well, first of all, piss off. But at the same time, like they're the moments you enjoy.
Definitely.
Right?
Correct, yeah.
So
That's what life's about.
That's what we're
100%.
working towards. It's not working towards, as you said, like building all this wealth to do what?
To do what? Correct.
So we're gonna, and then you burn yourself out and then you don't enjoy your life anymore.
Yeah, what's the point of money if you're not there to enjoy the golf drives and the footy games and
Definitely.
and it's hard sometimes they become taxing too, but you got to remember that's what you're there for.
And you want to be present for those moments as opposed
Definitely.
to thinking about
on your
work.
phone, sending emails and missing the kicks and missing the marks.
Yeah. So for you guys now, Trek, what sort of projects are we working on? High-rise buildings is still your mainstream?
Yeah, currently doing some student accommodation.
Yep.
And some high-rise apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through Crema?
Through Crema, mostly, yeah.
So talk me through that relationship. How has that formed over the years? Has it changed?
No, so we have an affiliation with Crema. We started obviously with them because Ridgestone had gone bankrupt, and we just kept that relationship going. Yeah.
And we still go outside. We work for a couple of companies like Sampson's Group. We've done a little bit for Intrec. For other companies, we do source outside work as well.
Yeah, but our mainstream.
And mainstream is Crema at the moment because of that relationship.
That relationship's strong, right? So, and how has that developed over the years? Is it more, you would have started off as, builder, developer, plumber, and work your way back through. But now it's just a full-blown partnership. It's supporting each other. With everything that's going on in the world, or there's a lot of EBA sort of timeframes that we've got off, and things like that. Obviously, Crema is there to support Trek as much as what Trek is there to support Crema.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
You pretty much hit the nail on the head. That's a good assumption.
Yeah. So and we look at it from a supply point of view in terms of our Drillcut side, is that we can only succeed if you guys succeed, and it would be the same for Crema.
Same for Crema as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think after having a subcontractor go bankrupt on any of your site for any builder is daunting because especially a service trade, you're so heavily involved on the project. And so I think they provide a lot of great support. It helps, ensures for them it doesn't happen again. And they've been very supportive of us and have helped us. Yeah.
And what does the Trek team look like these days in terms of numbers?
22 at the moment on field.
Wow. Yeah. How's that handling? Very short time to build up to 22.
Yeah. No, it's not too bad actually.
Yeah.
It's a good number.
Look, we may have to build up a bit more going into this year because our projects are pretty, vast, expansive. But I feel it's a quite manageable number. It's
I think
not the 60 that we inherited when we first started.
I think between 20 and 40 is like a
sweet spot.
It's like a sweet
Definitely,
spot.
Yeah.
Because there's a point of doing too much work and then there's too little work. So it's
And just because you're doing that much work and you have that many guys doesn't mean you actually necessarily make
sometimes start going backwards. So I think that there is a sweet spot, especially in plumbing, because it's unlike electrical and other trades, the margin for error is huge because you can do 20 jobs and it only takes one leak to lose a lot of it, to lose one toilet because the the rubber's pinched, you know, you flood, you ruin all the floors. It goes down 2 levels, you know, and it costs you a bomb.
Yeah.
Like-
And not putting words in your mouth, but to then trust 100.
That's what I mean. It's hard, yeah.
Definitely.
And they don't. When you have 100, they don't believe in you. They don't all believe in your dream. They know half of them are just a number, and so they're just, you know, they know that they might get the ass at the end of this job, so someone else will have to fix this if they fuck it up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have guys in a team that are around you that, you know, they feel safe, they feel secure, they feel comfortable in their job, they're more likely to. If they've made a mistake, I better pull that out and redo it. I better, you know.
Yeah. That's right. They feel invested in.
They feel invested in their company.
business.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of the most important parts of it as well.
Yeah.
If the workers feel enmeshed inside your company, you can't go wrong because they always want to put their best foot forward.
So
all the time.
would you take that over experience? Like, so from if you were to hire
100%,
additional
yeah.
plumbers at the moment, you're not so looking for experience. You're looking for attitude.
Attitude, yeah,
Definitely.
big time, yeah.
Yeah.
Attitude's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Culture and attitude, I'd say as well.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Culture trumps performance as well, anytime.
correct, culture and attitude. Because you need you want the boys to get along.
Definitely.
Work aside, you want the boys. You know, they don't always, because you put 20 guys in a small little lunchroom, they're going to argue. But you want them to get along first and foremost.
Not naming any names, by the way.
You want there, no, you want there to be good. You want there to be a good culture, and you want there to be. I just want the boys to want to come to work. I just want them to enjoy themselves when they come to work. I want them to take pride wearing the Trek jumper when they're on site.
Definitely.
You know.
When you get too large, you lose the personability of it as well. So you're not as personal with them. So the guys come in, it's like check in, check out. I work at Coles, 8 hours.
Yeah, correct.
I don't really care what happens. I know at the end of this job I'm going to get
It's
fired.
not my job. Yeah.
It's not my job. Too bad. Productivity, the foot goes off the pedal. And then it forces your hand to say, all right, mate, you got to go as well. Yeah.
And one bad apple definitely spoils a whole bunch very quickly in construction.
It does.
Because it's a hard job.
Yeah.
It's a very hard job, and it's wet, and it's cold, and the wind goes through the buildings, you know. And so it's already hard enough as it is. And so throwing negativity in the mix quickly drags everyone down.
And you also run the risk of others looking at that person. You know, we touched on it in a previous episode when we were talking about A graders, right?
Yeah.
So you want a lot of A graders, but if you get a C grade or even D grader, those A graders go, why should I work as hard?
Yeah,
If this person's getting away with it, and if you don't pull them up,
Yeah.
And I personally think that should be a bit of a reformation that the EBA space needs. Especially, it should be tiered for level of tradesmen, because you do get that a lot. You do get a lot of the tradesmen saying, well, I'm working this hard, I'm doing this much work, why is he on the same pay? Now, I understand the unions, and they're saying everyone needs to be protected, everyone deserves the right to come to work safely and earn a good wage. But there are also people that should be, incentivized more than others, who do more
and
work.
less than others.
And other
less
people
than
that
others,
actually deserve less than others.
Yeah.
It's very fortunate for those that are not great, and it's unfair for those that are fantastic, and it's so for the guys in the middle.
It's the old meritocracy versus equity.
Correct. Yeah.
That's the problem.
And you've got also a lot of plumbers, and we're not chicaning plumbers,
No.
right? But we've also got a lot of plumbers that have never welded pipe together unless it was
correct.
at school or or never done a lot of work. They've just pushed pipe together on other sites, and they're fully qualified. Like, I think also the training needs to improve coming through, especially on the EBA side, because there's a lot of that gets missed.
I know what you're saying, but give you a little bit of pushback on that. It's like the training that needs to come through. It's very hard when you're paying the sort of wages that they're getting paid, and the builders are crunching for margins.
Yeah.
So you really just need the best fit for the job. You can't really sit there and train someone all the time every day,
100%.
especially when they're getting paid what the cost price, $130 an hour is what their cost price is per working hour of the days that they're actually working. That's the hardest part about it. And maybe this is a little bit controversial, what I'm going to say here, but I think
Go for it.
a little bit of controversy. I think hopefully someone from the union actually looks at this and says, for the next 5-year pay rises, maybe we'll put a tiered system in. Because it's unsustainable, the rate that these people are getting paid, these workers. Although they do deserve it, they work hard in the bad conditions, justifiably deserve it. You need to have the tiered system, because you can't just be paying them $100 an hour.
Someone that's just finished their apprenticeship to a guy's been in there 20 years.
Exactly right. It just gets thrown back to the end consumer in the end. And then, it stifles investment within this state, especially this state. Yeah.
Like I said before, one of my life goals is to reform the plumbing regulations. Another one for me is I really want to the trade schools need to be doing better.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of apprentices and they always ask for the feedback forms and I always give them the feedback forms, but nothing ever gets done. You can't keep sending plumbers to trade school to do a 1950s task and expect them to compete in a 2026 market. It doesn't happen. Like,
Definitely.
most of the time I'm making metal toolboxes at a plumbing trade school. Well, that doesn't apply to, like, playing around with tin snips because it's the easiest thing to scrap and it's the cheapest way to get them through on site to hold them for 8 hours, for 5 days a week. It's not great. Like, when I did it, like, you're pulling 50 mil welded branches. Well, that's not really applicable. Like, we're not teaching. I don't know now. I haven't been in a trade school in a little while, so they might have changed it. But when I was there, they need to be doing you need repetition. Like, they need to be going in and doing roughings every day. They need to be going and doing stacks every day. They need to be fitting up hotties every day. They need to be working, and I just don't think they do enough of what's required on site at school.
Definitely.
And especially because you're footing the bill for it as an employer, you're just not getting the outcome. Whereas maybe they're not getting some of the opportunities at work that they should be getting because, they're cleaning up, they're unpacking tools, they're filling the boss's ute. They still, the school needs to still be giving them a skill set that's applicable in real world. And I think that's where they fall short. So in the education, and I think even with, you'd like to see a bit more done in that space. And I think for apprentices too, I think it's very hard for apprentices these days because the cost of living's hard. I know their wages are going up. I was getting $250 a week when I was a first year.
Yeah, $225 after tax was my wage as a first year.
As a first year, they do get a lot more now, and I think with the rise of mobile phones and social media, it's like we work with a lot of first years. It's hard.
Yeah.
The transition for them from high school to full-time work. A lot of, anyone that's got a first year apprentice knows that beating the high school system out of them and to a work system into them is very hard for, an 80%, that medium range of kids. They see you as their high school teacher where, they think they can talk back to you. You're getting paid to be here. Like, I don't have to keep, and so even in the first year system, I think there needs to be a better transition through the TAFE system into getting them more prepared for working life. Because I say to a lot of kids that want to drop out, we have a lot of kids that parents have asked us, can our kid, this was back when we were doing more domestic style. Our kid wants to drop out of school 16 and start his plumbing apprenticeship. I understand it's not a bad thing to do. If you're not excelling at school, you want to go into a trade. Dropping out at 16 is not the worst thing in the world because, what are you going to do? The hardest part for us as employers is having a child that's ready to work. Unfortunately, between 16 and 18, your body's just not, as a man, your body's just not ready to work. And some trades, I think it's okay to do that, to drop out at 16 and start working. I think HVAC's probably a lot easier. I think electrical's a bit easier. Plumbing's not.
It's a bit more physically taxing.
It's physically taxing. And I think the boys that do it at 16 and 18, credit to them because they're probably in a top scene. They're strong. They're ready to go. But it's very hard. I think plumbing's one of those trades. It's very physical. It's so diverse in what you're doing. You've got, sewer, stormwater, water, gas. There's a lot to know, a lot to do. And, under houses, in roofs,
It's also the work ethic as well.
It's the work ethic,
But it's not just the work ethic for you when you're 16. Now they're 18. You've invested as a company. You've invested 2 years into them. Now they've found driving and drinking and
going out,
and
partying,
going out.
And all of a sudden you've lost them and you've invested 2 years. So it must be tough for companies to take that leap of faith to say, yep, all right, we're going to invest in these kids.
Definitely. I think Rob touched on a great point before about the mobile phones too. Often like you see them and you're like, what are you doing? Like they're Snapchatting or they're taking Instagram reels of what they're like we didn't have any of that when we were going through our apprenticeships. There was no such thing. I still remember the old Nokia phone that you just press button. What are you doing? Like put the phone down and go back to work. Like seriously, like our apprentice that we currently have now who won the Drillcut prize. Yes. Without naming names, right? I've instituted a policy. His phone goes in the box, his toolbox. No phone. Like if you need to make a call, you come back, you get the phone. Now some people call me harsh and a prick, but your mind needs to be on the job, especially in a dynamic environment like construction.
It's too dangerous.
It's dangerous, and then people get hurt all the time. Like, and if your mind's not on it or with it, and it's a split second between creating that accident that will really cause you damage for a long time. And not to mention, you need to learn.
Yeah.
You actually have to be there to learn. Like I said before, not check in for 8 hours and check out at Coles. You're there to create a career, which is good paying and to learn. These kids just don't have that this day and age.
Yeah.
We're finding more so, especially this day and age.
Yeah. And that's not to say there is good
No,
kids.
no,
out
no.
there.
It's not
but-
pigeonholing
but-
every single one.
No, but
like
it
it
is
was like
hard to
the
find.
ones that come
It's hard
past
to
our
find,
direction.
yeah.
It's extremely
It is hard to find.
But when you do
because-
find them, you cherish them and you value them because they are a dime a dozen at the moment.
And probably to your point earlier, is those kids actually should be rewarded
Correct,
further.
yeah.
And you hang on to them, invest
Definitely.
in them more, and allow them larger responsibilities because they're trusted. So they make your life a lot easier. But it
Yeah.
also means that if you're not having to deal with OH&S issues on site because
You're
kids
watching
are
the phone.
watching their phone and trying to create a TikTok or something like
Yeah,
that.
TikTok, monetize TikTok.
Well, a lot of
And
businesses
not monetize your work instead. Like, you know what I mean?
the investment you make into apprenticeships, like I don't think young kids understand. For a lot of companies, you invest in an apprentice, like you said, you're putting in 4 years, but it's not the 4 years of their apprenticeship. That investment of 4 years is you're hoping you're going to get a qualified worker that will see you out.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to find qualified workers. They usually work for themselves. Like in plumbing, if they're good at what they do, they're working for themselves, they're working in EBA, or they're in a job where they're already cherished, so they're usually not going to move. So to create a good workforce, you have to start with apprentices, build them up, and then try and take them on into the future with you, and keep them well paid, keep them happy, so they want to stay with you for a while.
Definitely.
And so that's why it's hard at the moment with the apprentice situation. Not a lot of kids want to go into plumbing, and I understand, rightfully so. When I was that age, I struggled doing plumbing through the apprenticeship. I struggled after the apprenticeship. I didn't want to keep doing it. It's not, at that age, it's not fun. Like it's, you want to be out with your friends. You want to be traveling. You want to be doing a whole heap of things. And, plumbing, it's not, it's not really that fun.
It's a tough gig.
The,
It's a tough gig.
the depths of
Yeah.
Melbourne winters really make you question yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's a misconception of what plumbing is, though, as well, out there for these young kids, because they just think sewer. Like there's
Yeah,
a
they
lot
do,
of-
yeah.
It's not that. I ask the question every time. I reckon I've had about 30 kids call me in the last couple of months for apprenticeships. I say, why do you want to do plumbing? It's the first question I ask.
Yep.
And you know what I get 90% of the time? Beside the the ums and ahs, they make a lot of money. That's not good enough.
Mm.
Like, money's
Yeah,
one thing,
one thing.
but you need to want to actually do the trade and learn.
Mm.
Invest yourself in it. Because it's going to be a long time that you're just going to get made redundant every, 2 years or year, or you'll get found out in the end.
Yeah.
You've got to want to love it and actually do it. And you find that with the good plumbers, for instance, like Rob and that, like even though he was saying that he was a bit ambivalent with plumbing, like with the good plumbers, they actually love it.
Mm.
Like, you love it. You talk to some of our guys, they live and breathe it and they love it.
Mm.
And that's what really dictates the good from the bad with the plumbing world, I think, too. And mainly any probably job, for instance.
Yeah. And with plumbing, we have got a shortage of these people. So what would be your message to those kids that are calling you up and saying, "Oh, money, money, money"? How can you better prepare them for that phone call?
Yeah, the way I'd probably better prepare them is have a set of answers before that is not an and an ah, it's a straight away.
Yeah.
And don't just say money. Say something like, I want to get out there, I want to experience, I want to work in the industry. I've done, I've seen it, I've walked around, I've seen the plumber come to our house and I find it interesting. He's changed the hot water service over and I really find interest. Say something like that.
Yeah.
Don't just say money.
Or see,
you know what I mean?
or even just, I've seen what's coming in. There's a lot of building obviously happening. We've got a lot of cranes in the air. With the data center space, whatever it is. I'm really invested in the construction and learning.
AI.
And I've done the research that tells me I can make a career out of this if I am good at what I do.
I'd love to see a young kid come and say, you know what, with the impending AI boom that's going on now, most, white-collar worker jobs are going to be basically, virtually redundant.
Yeah.
And I can see the trends is coming towards things like HVAC and plumbing and everything else.
Yeah.
Manual labour with your hands because they will be the last to go.
You can't transport waste from here to there without something that connects it, right? And I always say this, that in the electrical space, there's Wi-Fi's and there's things that can move electricity, in an easier way. But at the same time, you've always got a mass of things that needs to be moved from this point to point B that will always need people. And this is where people can accelerate their careers by getting in bed with plumbing, because, okay, how we do it today isn't going to be how we do it tomorrow.
There is so many facets. It's such a diverse range of things you can do with plumbing. You're not just pigeonholed to just being a plumber.
No.
You can be a hydraulic consultant.
Yeah.
There's many
You can be a business owner.
A business owner.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You can be a regulations guru. Like, there's so many avenues you can take. You can go to Dubai and plumb tax-free. Like there's so many other places.
But 16-year-old Rob didn't think business owner in plumbing, right? So, this plumbing can take you
anywhere,
wherever you want to take, but you've got to invest back.
There's no way that when I first started, I actually thought, okay, I'm going to be running a business and, doing some of the biggest jobs in Melbourne now.
And doing podcasts.
Well,
as a plumber. That's an avenue you can take.
I only started plumbing because I got back from overseas and wanted money to go, and it was just I was either going into a coffee shop.
You were the one that Aaron said.
I didn't know why I wanted to do it.
No, but once you got into it, you actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the thing, yeah. And like a lot of, you don't know what it is. Like when you're coming out of high school, it's good to say, I have some answers, but high school is tough. It's difficult at 17, 18 to say, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. You have to have a go. Don't be afraid to fail. And you have to, do an apprenticeship. Get 2-3 years in. If it doesn't work out, you can change. You're still young. I think at 30, 40, there's still people that do apprenticeships later in life. They've done a desk job. They're like, this is a friend of ours had an very successful accounting firm for a while. He sold it. He gave up and he went into construction because he's like, I can't sit down at a desk all day anymore. I want to move.
Are you finding more mature ages coming through, not just Trek, but through the industry? Have you noticed the trend there?
It's not heavily, not in big numbers, but you get the occasional one or two, and I think the ones that do come later on are interesting.
Yeah.
Because obviously they've had a job, they know what's going on, they're looking for a change, they're looking for a purpose that they know is different to what they've got now. For me, my advice to young kids would be to have a go. If you think plumbing's for you, watch a few YouTube videos. It's you can find it. It's all on Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram now. You can follow to see what the job's about. I think we didn't know that I didn't know what a plumber did really. When I was in high school, I wouldn't even know it was water or gas or sewer. I didn't know any of that. I didn't even know what the hell plumbers did. A friend of mine was doing an apprenticeship, and he's like, one of the boys just started his own business. Go help him for a little bit, and
Well, it wasn't my uncle doing that work experience with Lend-Lease. I wouldn't know what plumbing was either because I actually physically saw them.
Yeah.
And what they were doing. Took an interest.
Yeah. I only fell into it because a family friend of ours was actually a regional manager of Reece Plumbing.
Oh, there you go.
And I was going to go into real estate, of all things. And
you would have been a good real estate agent.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic at talking, good communication skills, good looks.
Oh, stop it. You make me blush. But yeah, it's one of those sliding doors moments. And I think, what we can take from this is that, plumbing has got a lot better in terms of its work-life balance. There is a career development through there, but it's always evolving. So, anyone that wants to sink their teeth into it can make whatever they want from it, but you really do have to go into it, with eyes wide open, right?
It's honestly one of those jobs that it does give you get a lot of satisfaction out of it. Like, from what you put in the ground, sometimes it's antithetical. You work so hard all day, everything, keep it all neat, just to backfill it at the end. That sometimes I get disappointed backfilling a drain when it's spot on. Yeah. But you see something, you get to see a house or a building go from you're the first one in, doing everything in the ground, and you're the last one out, putting the hot water system on and making it all work at the end. Yeah. And it's satisfying doing that. Like, it's not just, I'll come put stone on, or I'll come put a couple of cabinets in, a little bit of tiling, and I'm gone. You see a house evolve, you see you know, you see suburbs evolve. Like I remember when all the new suburbs opened, going in, being the first one in the estate doing a drain, and it's just vacant land. You come back a month later to, you know, do the roughing, and you can't even find the house anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, yeah, you get to see a lot, you get to experience a lot. I think it's a good job for people that have get satisfaction off completion. You know, so doing a job, seeing a finished project, you know, if that gives you satisfaction, which for me it did, like, you know, starting something and completing something, gave me a lot of satisfaction. I think that's why I enjoyed the trade. And yeah, that's why I really enjoyed the trade. Honestly, when I was younger, yeah. And my boss at the time, I remember the first roughing I did, he told me to pull the lines front to back and clip it out. And for me, like, perfectionist, clipped them dead straight. He was flabbergasted. He was
Line
like,
laser.
yeah, it was dead straight. I had a job. Yeah, he kept me around just from that. He thought I was very weird at the start, to be honest. I was a weird kid with long hair, just came back from Africa. He wouldn't even sit next to me at lunchtime. He'd get in his car and drive off. But after he saw my first roughing clipped out, didn't show me, didn't say anything, just left me to my own devices. Took me a while, but, you know, it was nice and straight. He was, yeah, pretty surprised. Stayed around for a while.
Yeah.
Now here you go, just get a little bit off topic here, a bit of a segue.
Go for it.
Are we ever going to see the M10 duct hanger bolt again? in stock
Controversial.
Drillcut? Big controversy over this one.
I'll take it on notice,
Yeah.
and I will let you
I've
know.
still got 1,000 on back order from 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
I've about 5,000 on back order. A little bit of a funny story with that. Have
Yeah.
you heard the backstory behind why I asked this one?
Go for it.
Can you confirm the rumours are true? This is a big one.
Okay, go for
I came and asked Gary Sharifi one day. I said, Gaz, call him up. He came down the site. I'm like, Gary, where are my M10 duct hanger bolts? Where are they? I go, it's been 6 months. I haven't seen them. He goes, He goes, you're not going to believe it. I said, okay. I said, Gary, tell me what it is. He goes, they're made in a kibbutz in Israel, and because of the war, that's been repurposed to an ammunition factory. I couldn't believe what I heard. I says, Gary, are you serious? Like, I didn't know if he'd lied to me or anything like that. So, are the rumours true? I want to know. It's been 18 months. I want to find out. Can you tell me?
All I can say is...
A kibbutz. Like, could you tell me anything else? Like,
let me just put it this way. Would Gary lie to you?
I don't think he would. He's pretty
I don't reckon he would either.
So, again, I don't know the answer to that. I'd hope it's true because it's a good story. It's a great story. So.
I actually couldn't believe what I was hearing. You know what's an even better story?
Go for it.
Robbie, so back when we were a bit smaller and when we were operating, we were trying to cut costs and save money, obviously, because, you know, you're an infant business trying to go through. So we're using Robbie's house as a storage facility. Like, it came from my parents' house originally, and then when I moved out, obviously, then we, you know, into Robbie's house, for instance. And we've called Drillcut, and we're like, you know, where's this delivery? Unbeknownst to the Drillcut driver, he didn't realise that we just, like, put cameras in Rob's house. He's unloading.
No, two things. The full garage was stocked with gear, like, to the brim. And I was getting large Drillcut orders, like, tons of Veltanium rolls delivered there. Yeah. But we'd also just recladded the whole garage door, like brand new cladding. Anyway, the next day, I think a couple of weeks after we just cladded it, the Drillcut driver come, and he's rolling the rolls of Veltanium down the driveway into the garage.
Into the garage door. Oh my God, into the garage.
Anyway. Called Gary with that one. He wasn't.
Gary
wasn't happy.
The old Lego man was not impressed. The old Lego Gary.
So did we replace your door?
No.
And actually, it took the beating all right. It was all right.
We did a good job. We went to the regs. We went to the regs on the cladding. We did it well.
Oh, you installed it, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, if you guys installed it, that's why. We're testing it for you.
That's right.
It was all right at the end. I just saw it on the cameras and I was like, what the fuck? My new door.
And was there that fear of between seeing it and actually getting home?
Yeah.
Like,
I got home and
it
was fine. I was like, oh.
It's going to be like someone's been playing cricket against...
To be honest, he'd actually set up a Veltanium coil buffer before rolling the other ones into him.
Oh, right.
There was like 50 or 60 rolls.
Right.
He'd set like a buffer wall and just rolled the rest down into him.
He does it well.
He actually did it all right. I was like, oh, because you couldn't see the front of the door. You could only see like the angle.
The angle. The coil's going into the door.
And just bouncing back.
And bouncing back, yeah.
That's awesome. As long as he was hitting it at pace, right?
Yeah. He did all right.
How is Drillcut for you guys these days?
Yeah, good.
Honestly, yeah, it's been good. I mean, we've been with you guys for a long time since you were down at
Definitely.
the old facility.
Yeah.
And seeing, what's happening now.
Even the growth within Drillcut as well.
The growth within Drillcut.
Even seeing what it used to be like to what it is now, you come out,
Yeah.
it's quite impressive. It's an impressive outfit to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've always been pretty hands-on with Gary. We always try the new products he brings out. We tried Veltanium Lightning. Because we're hands-on with it, we actually give a lot of, I like to give a lot of product review.
Yeah.
We tried the Lightning. The Veltanium sleeve was, always fantastic for us. To be too slow to install for the scale we're at now.
Yep.
But previously in high-end mansions and smaller jobs,
You installed it. everywhere.
you could do it without testing and you just know you're never getting a leak.
My personal home, his personal home.
Yeah.
He was it in as well.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, plus all the bits and bobs, the hiring, the boxes. We've done the drill cut design,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
preloading, the
Yeah.
preloaded boxes.
Yeah.
Yep. The prefab inside the
Oh
factory.
yeah, we've done the prefabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Pretty much. gone
Anytime
through
you
the
guys
full
start
works.
something new, we're
on it.
We're on it.
We're pretty
yeah.
much on it. Yeah.
Like podcasts.
Yeah, and podcasting. Yeah.
So,
The RBMs,
yeah.
got in with that. The temporary valves.
Yeah.
It's getting controversial now. Won't bring it up.
Yeah,
Cut
well,
that.
that whole space, obviously, we were talking before, lead-free coming through. The game changes instantly. Like, that was a month's notice. Like, it was meant to be, quite a bit of time in Victoria or in Australia, and then Victoria brings it forward. So, for someone that reads the
It's hard to get
regulations
by,
at night as he goes to sleep, it must be
Dreams of it.
It's a good read.
I often hear his partner who's telling me that when he goes to bed, he starts talking about, AS3500s, water regs. I'm like, Bianca, what are you talking about there? Like, she's like, oh, he's drifting off to sleep and he's citing regulation 32.63, sanitary drains 1 in 60. I was like, venting, full vented modified systems, the whole works.
It's good. Like, it's when you get satisfaction out of a good job, like, and I have my issues with the regs. I won't because I will do some things. No, I don't against the regs because I know when I know they're incorrect.
No, you don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, but they've changed it now. But for years, I used to get shitty with the 75mm rock bedding underneath a sewer.
Yeah.
It was just a waste. Felt like it was too much rock underneath. So I felt like you just get issues. And it was designed for earthenware piping. Like you had to have the bed so you could get the collar and you're able to mortar up the joints. But when you're doing PVC, what does it matter? Same with a mirror test when they're like, well, you got to, like everyone string lines their drains. Sometimes you get a little bit of both. But if you've got 6 meters and it's got a little bit of a swing in it, you've pinned it straight. What's a mirror test going to achieve? You don't have any joints. Like it's still, as long as you got your 4, it's still going to go through.
You can always kick a 5-degree bend.
So like times change and the regs don't change with it. So it gets frustrating. But yeah. I got pissed off once. I failed the drain inspection because I didn't have 75mm bedding under the drain. It was like 4 o'clock it was like 3 o'clock on a Friday. So I had to go. It was 3 units. I had between like 25 and 50 or 30 and 50. I can't remember. Had to go the whole next Saturday morning, lift the whole drain up, rock the whole thing, re-inspection at 1, and the guy never showed up and just really pissed me off. I was like, I would have just backfilled it if I knew.
Hugo, tell me, how's Drillcut going with the current economic climate in Victoria?
We're in a really strong position. So being family owned, it's a lot different to other merchants out there. So we're able to invest in our people. So you would have seen that we've now got our PM team, we've got our internal sales team, as well as we've got obviously Gary that leads the on-road team out there. So we're able to move very quickly through that, but also deliver a high level of service. So with Drillcut, the difference with us is we don't need the market to expand. We will just capture more of the current market. Right, so we are still seeing like the data center space lead the charge.
Besides the data centers, what do you feel about investment inside? Like how's housing going? How's residential going? high rise, because we don't see much
Yeah, so we're not,
booming outside of data centers. I think they've stifled investment inside this state, especially.
yeah. So we don't get involved in the residential side as much.
Well, residential is in apartment complexes.
But apartment complexes, there's still a fair amount of work out there, and we're still seeing the fruits of that because we are so aligned with that business model. With the likes of Snap Fire Collars, Veltanium, and even people shifting over to acoustic piping as opposed to lagging PVC. So we believe that we're leaders in that space. So the space doesn't have to grow for us to grow. But then there's a lot of investment still in hospitals and that sort of government infrastructure that again is our sweet spot where we're playing. So we're able to still deliver a high value level of service and we're noticing plumbers, and including Trec, are changing the way that they're doing business. So the products that they're installing or the way that they install or even the cabinets, right? So you touched on it before. Companies are coming to Drillcut because what they're saying is if we can use a cabinet and lessen the wages on site, well, that actually gets us more work. So again, it's not necessarily for the bubble to get bigger. We just got to capture more of the bubble. So in terms of Drillcut's position, it's in a very, very strong position. And we are actually investing in people to be ready again. And having gone through the GFC myself as well as COVID, I was at a company that invested in people at that time and came out stronger at the other end. So we at Drillcut have taken that position and we're doing the same.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So, and we've got to be there for you guys. As I said, for us to succeed, you guys have to succeed. So if we can't be there for our customers, there is no tomorrow for us because ultimately we're at the mercy of the market.
Correct, yeah.
But if we can't support you guys on site, well then we don't get anywhere down the line. So we're, as I said, investing in our people, but also we are wanting to get the best people in the market as well.
Yeah, for the job.
Yeah. How are you guys finding it? It's definitely tough, but...
Yeah, look, I feel that like the current environment, it's more so geared towards government work. The government sort of incentivises that a bit more, punishes the taxpayer a little bit, I'd say. You take more so, productive workers and put them into an unproductive sector, and then you lose worker pool for us as well, and you lose obviously jobs because we're not incentivising developers to build and to construct, and you're not giving them, the right of way through regulation and what it might not be, and it has a roll-on effect to us, the tradesmen.
So guys, why Trec? So why would people or developers, builders, why do they choose Trec? What's the difference between you and the next plumbing company out there?
I think I'll take a stab at answering this one, Robbie. I'd feel like what differentiates us from the rest is that Rob and I are pretty hands-on with our business as well. So unlike most of the other commercial plumbing companies, for instance, they might have a director or a CEO. They're not really managing directors. They have a tier system behind them. They've got project managers, operations managers, foremen, and then it tiers down to your level tradesmen and leading hands. Rob and I take more of a physical approach inside the business, whereby we care for it. We look after projects as not only managing directors, but project managers, sometimes even foremen at this stage. And we give a level of care that I think that other companies just don't bring, through that aspect, because we are actually physically there with them and we integrate with builders all through the planning, the hydraulics, and everything else throughout the systems. So that's, I feel, what gives us the edge over other companies.
Yeah. And there's always that tipping point, right? We touched on before. You can grow to, say, that 40, 60, and then you almost become not corporate, but like a corporate style of company, right? That, then all of a sudden the owners lose touch with every detail in someone that
like
you don't know what's going on your site.
For instance, if the builder's got a problem, an issue, you're not dealing with the tiered system, you're dealing directly with us at this point in time. So it's like, hey, Aaron, Rob, we have an issue, let's sort it out, no dramas. Got on the bar, we're down there straight away, we fix it.
Yeah.
So that's probably the level of care that you get more so with Trec than what you get with other companies.
Yeah. And then there's the flow and effect of that level of workmanship comes up because you're dealing with you guys.
And worker productivity as well. You're getting, you're not getting guys coming to site just kicking the bucket and, trying to hide in the, in the walls and all that. Like we're there, we're managing, People can see that. Our workers see that. They work hard, and that actually delivers results for the builders on site too.
And you see it a lot of the time, like even taking the footy analogy, you see players play for certain clubs and they're not happy and they just, you know, they get whatever and they just go through the motions, they get traded and all of a sudden, you know, they're superstars because they're just in the right environment. I suppose that's, you know, it goes along with the plumbing company as well. You know, like there might be, you know, superstars out there that just go by the flow. They come to Trek, there's an investment, there's a buy-in.
Definitely.
That now they're lifting their game up to, you know, probably where they should be, but, you know, they weren't able to in other companies.
100%. So if you're a developer builder out there, come to Trek. You know, we'll give you the level of service that you actually deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're not. Our plan for our business is not to be the biggest and best, because I don't think in doing so we have to lose that
Personal.
Yeah, that level of detail that
And quality.
I failed to relinquish control of.
Yeah, we want to keep the
But
quality there.
we want to be able to maintain. We want to maintain. You know, there's enough work out there for everyone. You know, we're aware of that. It's a competitive. It's always good to be competitive. As long as we can deliver jobs on time, have work for our boys, and really just do the jobs that we want to do, jobs that will be good for us, and not just take jobs for the sake of taking them. I think we'll be successful and we'll be able to move forward. And I think having that level of care, you know, like Aaron said, it's a big difference asking a foreman, hey, we need more guys here, or this isn't working out, or what do you think is going to happen here, versus asking the owner of a business who's, you know, you're across both the jobs. Like if Aaron goes away, I can walk onto his job. I understand where the whole thing's at.
Yeah, correct.
If, you know, someone takes a sick day, you know, it's not like an owner just walks onto a job and knows what's going on. Like you're barely
But for instance,
across
you've got
it.
a foreman here as well, and you don't have an owner invested heavily into a business, like Rob said. Let's say he takes a week and a half off because he's got RSV. Well, that owner can't just step in and take over that job because they've got no idea.
Yeah.
Whereas we can, because we are invested in it.
And I'm getting a feeling from you guys that you don't want to just give someone the arse at the end of a job.
No.
No,
Right?
we're
And
not on
when
that.
you get to big sizes, you've got to keep that workflow
gotta-
coming up. And you touched on before with what's the pipeline looking for the Victorian market.
Yeah.
Is there enough work to sustain that level? Yeah, or are we just going to have to just do completion job and then,
Correct.
you know, leave, and then you can then got to rehire once you go back up.
Yeah.
And what are you rehiring? Like
Exactly
Correct,
right.
yeah.
Like if you've got your set group of team guys and girls that are quality, they understand your business and they've bought into Trek, you don't want to lose them.
No.
So by getting it too big, sometimes you can fall off the other side and lose good people because the work isn't there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Our loyalty to our boys, the same way they're loyal to us, I think is important. It's got to be a two-way street.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have trust in us and we don't have trust in them, it's not a symbiotic relationship. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Now you guys are the owners, but you're also on site a lot. So tell me, Drillcut cookies, what's your favourite?
Controversial.
And
Big controversy.
if you could develop your own Drillcut cookie, what would it be?
Now we're talking.
Now, we're talking about two guys that go to the gym. Obviously, the only gym I know is Beam. So you guys tell me what's your favourite? And if you could develop one, what would it be?
All right. For me, my favourite is the Scotch finger ones, the chopped
shortbread.
chip,
Yes.
shortbreads. Definitely, I'll take them over the jam any day of the week.
Yeah.
Now, if I was to develop one, it'd have to be a protein Oreo.
A protein.
Protein.
Would be-
One that's dissolvable and you could put it in a shaker or something, right?
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, maybe not that. You want to physically drill cut protein shakers. That's going to be the next line of work.
All right, yeah.
That's what I reckon.
All right, producer Dave, put that down as a giveaway. And
We're all talking about health and consciousness of the workers as well.
Yeah.
We want to make sure the workers are healthy. So I don't think protein doesn't go
Cutting
astray.
this out so I can take credit.
For me, the choc jams are a little bit too sweet. So
Yes.
I'm also a shortbread guy.
yes,
But I don't really... The best thing about drill cut cookies, they're the only way I barter on site. So I usually have to hand them out for freebies, favours, the traffic control guy to let me get a drill cut delivery in.
yeah.
Um,
As long as
So
they're
I don't
drill
get-
cut deliveries.
yeah, they're
right?
drill cut deliveries. Yeah,
All right.
they are.
If Mark and Ed are getting deliveries over me, I'll be upset.
No,
right?
they're drill cut deliveries. Your driver always gets preference because he's handing out. He sneaks out the cookies, and the other day he came with beanies. Kept the traffic guys happy. It's brilliant. Awesome. If I was going to develop one though, I'd have to go. I just like a regular choc chip, but I wouldn't want it in shortbread form. I'd want it just a standard choc chip, but it's got to be somewhat gooey.
Yeah. Like we're talking like Coles, Woolworths, bakery.
No. We're talking gooey? Like cookie box style gooey.
Cookie.
Have you ever been to the cookie?
Doughy. Like it was
doughy.
Yeah, not
doughy.
It's
got
it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take it on notice. I don't know if it fits in the budget, but we'll see how it goes.
At the $38 delivery fees, I think it's in the budget.
Yeah, but we're giving it to the traffic controller out the front. Guys, it's been fantastic chatting to you. We could chat for another 3 hours, but we'll have to get you back for another episode.
Definitely.
Not too distant future, but thank you for sharing your past as well as how you're tracking today. It's always good to hear the stories, and I appreciate your time.
Pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for tuning in for another episode of Behind the Wall podcast. We look forward to seeing you next time.